What's up, flippers? It's Cold Hand Henry here. Got some cold hands here. And I got the new Lucha that I just got in. You guys might have seen it on my short. But yeah. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to do that video that I wanted to do, or somebody recommended to me, and I'll probably have to remember to tag them in the comments, about what I think about bushings versus bearings. And so I figured I'd talk about that a little bit. Also, if you guys wanted a review of this thing, I will review it, but it just hasn't been like long enough for me to definitively say what I think about it. Obviously, like right now I'm in the honeymoon phase, so I'm like obsessed with this thing. Oh. But no, bearings and bushings are actually like a lot different, and this knife is a prime example, because as I've been flipping it, I've been surprised by a lot of things that have to do with it. One of them is the fact that it is so fast compared to like a bushing Balisong. So all that these bearings are, you can't really see it, but they're basically like little roller balls that are in there. Sorry about the wind if it's getting loud. I've been having trouble filming lately because of the wind. It just always causes problems for me. But yeah, so they're basically like these little balls that are in there. Pause. And all they do is they kind of like ramp around. So it's like this disc that's got a bunch of small like little ball things, and they like roll around inside of like this little like cage area. And they can be made out of a lot of things, but for this Balisong, I think they're made out of, I don't remember if it's ceramic or, I don't know, because I know that the guy who gave them to me, Meltdown, had put different bearings in it for a while. So but yeah, so they're made out of ceramic or whatever. Anyways, they roll around in there, and they're kind of pushed up against both sides. It's like bushings, for example, are just like a little disc that's in there, and they touch the washers on the knife, and they basically make it to where the tension of the pivots and everything goes straight onto that instead of on like the actual blade. And so you can actually get tight tolerances without having to you can get tight tolerances but with the free swing, and that's like ultimately the goal of all of these Balisongs. So even for the Lucha, it's the same thing when they have these ball bearings. The reason why it's so much easier to tune bearings is because, whoa, it got caught in my sleeve. The reason why it's so much easier to tune bearings is because they don't have that like variability. Like once it's in there, like once the bearing is in there, you basically just tighten it until it doesn't until it has tighten it as much as you can while it still has free swing, and you're good. And the tolerances are always good. With bushings, the problem lies in the fact that they require you to tune them to like a whole nother degree, because the exact size of the bushing is like a huge variability. You guys might already know this, but if you don't, I'm just telling you. Like a lot of people use ball bearings in knives a lot more. Also, sorry about the sound of the traffic. But yeah, and so what do I think about the flippability? Oh my god, these guys are loud. Sorry if it's loud. I don't know if you can tell or hear it or not, but that's why these apartments are not expensive. Okay, anyways, I don't want this video to be too long, but so yeah, so and then it kind of just depends from there. Not all bushings are created equal. Like if they're undersized, when they say undersized bushing, all that means is that the bushing, it does not have enough clearance to get like where it needs to be. So when you tighten down on the handle, on the pivots, it's not tightening down on the bushing, it's tightening down on like the handle and everything. And that's why you get like it's all stiff and stuff, because there's pressure right here where it shouldn't be. It should be on the bushing. And then oversized is just where there's too much size of the bushing, and so it ends up being like that it's like pressing down on the bushing but there's so much space in between that you start to get tap. Now, as far as performance goes between the two of them, I absolutely like the bushing feel better generally, because when you have bearings, what they tend to do is they tend to have a lot of carryover momentum. Like when I first got this in that Balisong, even though I love the way it flips, I had trouble just because it has like a lot of problems with like over swinging. Like a big example was I couldn't do the short stop. Like I would come down here, I'd flick this down, and look how much carryover that has. Like even just, I'll just bring it up here and I'll show you. See how it hits the blade? Look at that. It hits the blade and then it flicks it towards my hand. See how much it goes? Now imagine, see that little tap? It moves it so easily. So like now imagine when I'm doing something like this, I have to really play with the momentum right to get it to not cut me. What I started doing is just kind of correcting for it. So I'll kind of bring my hand down with it, see, like that. And then that kind of helps it along. So that's why I recommend, like, if you're a new flipper, this should not be your first Balisong. You should try something else first. And then once you like learn how to flip, then probably you could go for something like this. Because I'll tell you right now, this is my most fun Balisong, but it's not the most high performance Balisong. That, you know, it just kind of depends on that one, probably the Kraken. But yeah, so the carryover momentum causes problems, especially because like it tends to like ramp, like it tends to like ramp up on tricks. Like the more and more you flip, the faster the tricks get, so you can't like combo out as well as you can with bushing Balisong. But then the bushing Balisongs, they tend to like float, like they'll float through the tricks, like they have a smoothness about them, and you can actually hear the bearings. Well, that's just the sound of the handles hitting. But yeah, so bushings tend to like have a floaty feel about them, like they're just like non-stop, they have like a consistent flow, whereas with this, every little thing that you do, you're gonna be able to feel it. So it's funny because there's actually like a less of ability to mess up with this, you know what I'm saying? Whoa. You actually have less ability to mess up, like less room for error. So if you see somebody flipping good with one of these, you know they ain't playing. And you know that the boy can't flip for ship is flipping insane in the membrane with this thing. Okay. Yeah, little show off. Shouldn't have showed off. But yeah, shown, not showed. But yeah, that's my feel on the issue. I prefer bushings. They have more of a floaty feel, a more consistency between tricks. Like you can just feel the difference. And when I'm saying floaty, you might not understand what I mean, but if you ever have like a bushing versus a bearing Balisong, you know what I mean? Like you can imagine that like these little balls that are like ramping along the line, like as they're ramping, it's like every movement sort of builds momentum. Like this happens so easily, like the free swing. Like the movement is just faster, like they're just faster, and the movement is like way more aggressive versus, see that? Like I tried to throw this down, my finger should have ended up here, but it's so fast, my finger here. You have to adjust how you flip based on the speed of it. So, and anybody who has like a Balisong Z or anything like that, they'll tell you the same thing. It's the same sort of concept. So yeah, that's the story on bushings versus bearings. Any other questions you had? Obviously bearings are easier to tune. You can get this thing sounding pretty crispy clean, like it came from Krispy Kreme. So yeah. Come on, baby. Oh, there it goes. All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to say rock on. I'm going to the gym.